What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, yesterday, we looked at half of the Black Digimon from BT5 that we'd yet to take a look at. Seems a little bit rude if we didn't go and finish it, so we've talked about all the Mechanorimon stuff, and I'm really excited about that deck. I think Mechanorimon looks fun, but I think the new cards I showed you yesterday just make it even better than it was before, which is kind of impressive, really, when you consider quite how fun it looked before. Is it going to be top tier? I don't know. I just think it looks fun. What I do know is that we do have some other Black Digimon about which we need to have a chat. So let's have a start with Mechanorimon? Mechanorimon? Something like that. What we've got here is a level 4 Black Digimon, which is 4 cost to play normally, about standard. 3 cost to Digivolve, which is kind of expensive. We expect level 4s to cost 2 to Digivolve, so that's kind of expensive. And 6,000 power. So we're kind of powerful for a level 4, and we're kind of expensive to evolve, but weirdly not expensive to hardcast. So what's going on? What is a skill here? We got Blocker, which is quite cool. It's another blocker. It's black, right? Black are tripping blockers. They got blockers coming out of their face. Essentially, there's lots of blockers in black is what I'm getting at here. Suspend this Digimon to direct an attack towards it. Now, the downside is that you cannot attack, which basically makes it very, very similar to the Gargomon that we've already had in Booster 1.0. That is to say, a black blocker that is not able to attack. Which I'm kind of alright with, honestly. The whole point of having a blocker is that it's there to block. I'm not upset when they can't attack. I will say that Gargomon is cheaper to Digivolve and has a bit more power. It's a 5 cost to play normally rather than a 4, but generally speaking, if you're giving me extra power, and when you're blocking, extra power can be big, lets you block more Digimon while surviving, you can always block whoever you like. But being able to block and delete them while surviving, that's a whole different thing. I do understand that Gargomon is more expensive to play normally, but don't hardcast it there. Job's done. So, Mechanorimon here, you're more expensive to play, or evolve at least, and you're less powerful than Gargomon. We need a reason to play it over Gargomon. We have one. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend it. I love this. Now, obviously, you're not going to be attacking here. So, if you could attack, this would be full-on broken, because if your opponent had a 5,000 power or less Digimon on the field, you would just be able to attack, unsuspend, attack, and just keep going and deleting all their 5,000 power or less Digimon. That's not what we got here. You can't attack. But let's say you're against Rookie Rush, for instance, whose entire deck is going to basically be 4,000 power and less Digimon. This is another brilliant counter to Rookie Rush, because they attack for 3,000 power Digimon, you block, delete them, and then unsuspend. And then they attack for 4,000 power Digimon, and you block, delete them, and unsuspend. And you'll notice there is no once during your turn. Now, that extra little bubble there is not present. So, against weaker decks, or in the early game when your opponent has weaker Digimon, they just can't attack. They literally can't attack. And that is why Mechanorimon sees play over Gargomon here. It's why I don't really consider Gargomon unless the format moves to a stage where people are only attacking with bigger Digimon. This is too good. Like I say, if you're against a Rookie Rush deck, and I know we got plenty of anti-Rookie Rush tricks at this stage, but I pay 4 memory to hardcast it, and again, it's actually cheaper to hardcast than average, or I just Digivolve into a 3 and then play 3 to Digivolve into this, and all of a sudden, my opponent, because even when I play it now, if I hardcast it now, it is out on my opponent's turn, which means I get to block. So essentially, if I'm against Rookie Rush, my turn 1, I am always, if I've got it, just playing Mechanorimon, and then I know that my opponent can't attack for the entire game. Unless they've got something big enough or some trick to take out Mechanorimon, and obviously, we all see they play stuff like Gaia Force sometimes to try and stop that, but again, multiple Mechanorimon will kind of deal with that quite nicely, but essentially you're locking them out of the game. So against a deck playing smaller Digimon, you are literally locking them out of the game. Against a deck with bigger Digimon, you are making them wait until they've gotten to a particular stage of Digivolution before they can attack. I mean, this is a 5 WotC card. I think this is an absolute slam dunk, no-brainer, amazing card. No, it's not going to be great in every matchup, but the thing to remember is, although it's a black Digimon, it's a 4 cost to play normally, which is fairly cheap for a level 4. So this can go into any deck whatsoever. So now any deck at all can basically put this into their deck and have an answer for Rookie Rush. Kind of like Volcanicdramon, except you don't have to play all of that memory to hardcast Volcanicdramon, which is generally something you're not particularly excited about doing. Do you want to pay 11 memory to play Volcanicdramon, or do you want to pay 4 memory to play this? Of course, do remember Volcanicdramon is still a 10,000 power Digimon with security attack +1. It's still good in that regard. But no, I think this is absolutely brilliant, and I love it. But we've also got BlackGalgomon here. So we should have a chat about BlackGalgomon. It's another level 4, 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 5,000 power. Honestly, all fairly standard. That's about an average level 4. But we have one inheritable skill here. I should say our translations come from the lovely folks at Ensign Gaming and the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev, my 2 favourite places to look up Digimon stuff. And what we've got here is on your turn, while this Digimon has reboot, it gains jamming. Yes. Basically, yes. Reboot says that you essentially become active on your opponent's turn during their unsuspend phase. It basically means that you will not be unsuspended on your opponent's turn, and ergo, your opponent will not just be able to delete you, because remember, you can attack a suspended Digimon. Well, what we've got here is a beautiful way to actually make sure that you're just never getting deleted. Because essentially what's happening here is, on your opponent's turn you're unsuspending, so they can't attack you. And on your turn you've got jamming, so you will not be deleted by security Digimon. So the only way you ever get deleted here is if you attack a suspended Digimon with more power than you. But that would have to be a conscious choice on your part, which is obviously very, 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 very easily avoided. So, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't actually make it an invincible Digimon. Again, there's stuff like Gaia Force, etc. But borderline invincible? Extremely unlikely that your opponent will be able to take it off the field? Yes. Absolutely yes. I think this is one that could be an absolute powerhouse, because essentially you just sit there attacking into the stack, and then your opponent can't attack you. Now, you do need to have reboot here. Now, there are a bunch of Digimon that naturally have it. WarGreymon that has blocker and reboot. That will work very nicely here. That'll get the job done. The Black WarGreymon from this set has reboot and security attack +1, which is brilliant, because then, of course, not only have you got jamming, but you've got security attack +1, so you get to attack an extra security card, knowing that there is absolutely no way that you're going to be deleted by that security card, unless they've got some skill that auto-deletes, because you've got jamming. And that is what I love so much about this. And clearly, right, I think the Black WarGreymon has got to be the best option here. The combination of security attack +1 and reboot and jamming, love it. Of course, do remember that any Digimon can have reboot if it has Digivolved from Toy-Agomon. So do please bear in mind that you can give this combo to any Digimon, Black Digimon of course, as long as you use Toy-Agomon as your level 3, and then use Liss as your level 4, and then whatever 5 and 6 you like. They will then have reboot, and because they have reboot, they will now have jamming. Of course, the eagle-eyed among you might have noticed this is the Greymon from BT2. Now, it's 1 more to play normally and has 1,000 extra power, so it's kind of a moot point, honestly. You shouldn't really ever be hardcasting this unless something has gone wrong. And you shouldn't really ever be attacking with this because both of them are super weak and likely to be deleted as soon as you attack. So don't. And you really want to Digivolve from them to get the benefit of the skill. So it's very much of a muchness here. Honestly, what I really like most is there's now 2 of them. And the fact that there is now 2 of them means that you can essentially double up. You can have 8 level 4s doing this rather than 4. So if you're playing something like a BlackGalgomon deck, it is way more likely you're going to have the right level 4. So let's go ahead and give this, 4 Wassies. I really like this skill. Honestly, I love the fact that we got 2 of them here now. So yeah, consider me a little bit of a fan. But there is one more black Digimon we've yet to have a little bit of a look at. It is BlackMachGalgomon. Some of these Digimon do have very long names. And we've got a level 5 here. And what we've got is an 8 cost to play normally, which is moderately high. A 3 cost to Digivolve, which is standard. And 7,000 power, which is your average for a level 5. I.e., you've got a standard level 5 here, which is just a tiny bit expensive to play normally. But we have 2 skills here. Firstly, you've got Reboot. Lets you unsuspend this Digimon during your opponent's unsuspend phase, which we like. And of course, if you've Digivolved from the aforementioned BlackGalgomon, you will also have Jamming. Not a coincidence. We see that the evolution lines very often work well together. We do see this synergy between evolution lines fairly often. And there's an inheritable skill whereby if this Digimon has Reboot, you gain 2,000 power. So, put this under the new BlackGalgomon, and you've got Reboot, Jamming, Security Attack +1, and 13,000 power. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Of course, it only works on your turn. You can still be deleted when you're resting on your opponent's turn. And if you've got Jamming, it doesn't really matter what your power is. When you attack the stack, you're going to survive. It's only going to be relevant when you are attacking your opponent. So fine, but still, this is pretty gosh darn fun, ladies and gentlemen. This is pretty gosh darn fun. I don't think this is a stunning skill. I don't think it's one of those skills that is going to turn the game on its head or anything along those lines. I think it is a perfectly competent, passable skill that is going to be good in some decks. But I think there's going to be plenty of other decks that go, well, I've got Jamming or whatever. I can go for some other level 5 here that's going to give me some other advantages somewhere else. So let's go ahead and give it a nice, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, ordinary, everyday free Wassies. A good skill, a nice card, absolutely one that should see a bit of play here and there and is going to help a bunch of decks. But I think it's fair to say it's not an absolutely essential skill. The other 2 Digimon, however, especially that cheeky blocker, oh, that one is good, ladies and gentlemen. That one is awesome. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassie Plays.